I want to talk about trading crypto breakouts because breakouts and big one-day moves happen quite often in crypto, and you need this skill in your armory to take advantage of those moves. If we can spot a potential breakout in the price of a crypto, then we can set up a trade with a fairly low overall risk and benefit short-term from a day trade. Hey guys, James here. In this one, I'll show you a strategy a lot of pros will use when trading Forex, and it works just as well, if not better, for cryptos because the daily volatility is much higher. This is a long one, so let's just get right into it. And if you haven't already, pick up your $40 of free Bitcoin with Celsius wallet using my code in the description. Start earning passive income on your long-term holds. So let me explain exactly how we are going to try and trade consolidation patterns, and then hopefully try and trade them into breakouts. And breakouts are such a good opportunity to make some very, very good cash. So I'm going to use Binance for this. If you don't have Binance, just click the link in the description. You can sign up for an account and follow along with Binance. They're the biggest crypto trader with the most liquidity, so I'm going to be using them. But we can see really when trading breakouts, there's a few rules that you can follow. And we had a big breakout recently to the downside in Bitcoin. So I want to talk about this, how you would trade that, and also some other patterns that we can see in the very recent history of Bitcoin to illustrate some of the areas where you might want to trade into breakouts or what potentially could be a breakout. So really what this strategy is trying to do is trade breakouts before they happen. So there's two different types. You can see what I've drawn here, very rudimentary, but it really does explain very well. You know, if a chart is trading around this type of level and in a pattern that is in a range, do you then go and trade the breakout? So maybe the price breaks out of a trading range and you think, oh, it's a breakout, it's going to go higher. Do I want to trade up here? Or do I actually want to trade in a pattern like this where consolidation is happening and the price is actually becoming much more restricted? Do I want to then go in around this sort of level before the actual breakout and try and anticipate and actually trade the breakout itself? So do you actually go and trade this when the price has broken out, or do you trade before and hope to anticipate what is going to give you the best risk to reward ratio? So firstly, let's come to trading the actual breakouts. We've got the Bitcoin US dollar chart right here, and we can see that recently Bitcoin had this huge breakout to the downside. Now, how do you actually trade this, or do you trade this breakout? Well, firstly, if you want to go ahead and trade a breakout, where exactly are you going to put your stop loss? Because every day trade usually will have a stop loss in there. So let's say we went through this chart and we saw that actually Bitcoin is moving in a little bit of a downtrend here. So we had this high here and then a lower high and an even lower high right here. If you trade the breakout, what you're going to be doing is trading at a price around this level. And let's say you actually are going short and you want to trade the price coming down a lot more. Well, where is your stop loss going to be? If you trade the breakout at this level, your stop loss is going to have to be at the previous level of consolidation, and that would be around about here. I mean, you could say it was here. Let's be positive and say that you'd put your stop loss here. That is quite a big stop loss amount. You'd be taking about this much risk, which is quite a lot of risk overall. You can see that would be your risk. And then obviously this trade actually would have worked out for you. You would have actually just gone short here, and then you would have actually gone to make however much you traded. Maybe you would have stopped yourself out here and taken some profits. But you can see that this is actually maybe a 50-50 reward ratio. Your stop loss would have to be placed around here because we're looking at prices that are a lot higher than that in the history of the chart. So your stop loss would actually be at a quite high level, and then you're hoping to make profits maybe at this level down here. So this would possibly be your take profit if you were actually shorting. But the likelihood of it coming down here is actually quite low. Even though it did, you can see the history of the chart that moves like this do not come very often. They are very, very big moves, and the chart doesn't usually trade with this much certainty. This is a very rare occasion where the price actually moves 20-25% in a day. So then if we can look back at the history of the chart actually doesn't trade like that a lot, but you would have had to have placed your stop loss quite high. So the risk to reward ratio of actually trading the actual breakout, waiting for the breakout to happen and then entering, isn't that great as a risk reward ratio overall. So then what we can do is try and actually look for periods of consolidation that give us a lot more price data for us to input a buy or a sell order and then a stop loss. Let's say we're going long and we have this amount of data you can see here. So this is a huge amount of trading data, and it's telling us one thing. It's telling us that previously the low was right here. That means sellers came in and drove the price down. But during this period, sellers have not had that opportunity. Sellers have been coming in here and here and here, but buyers have been preventing the price from going lower. This is a classic setup and consolidation phase. It means that sellers that want to drive the price down at this level are not winning. And if those sellers continue to dry up, then we could see a breakout to the upside if we're in a bull market. Now, this doesn't happen every single time, of course, but we can have a better probability of putting in some orders on the chart. So I'll show you that now. Also, a really important thing to note, we can actually set a stop loss at a higher level overall. So like I said on the chart right here, if you actually wait for the breakout to happen, your stop loss has to be further away from the price because we have to use some sort of previous consolidation phase and market data to put that stop loss on. But as you can see, the stop loss right here, we can actually use a level of like this, because this is the consolidation phase right here, and we can just give ourselves a little bit of breathing room and put the stop loss here, or even a little bit lower right here, because this is the consolidation phase. So we can put our stop loss around here, which is a pretty tight stop loss, meaning we know our risk, and our risk is definitely lower than waiting for the breakout here. And then you can see the difference. This would be the difference between our stop loss versus getting in at this point here. You just have a much smaller ratio between your entry level and the amount of risk that you're taking with your stop loss. So we're going to look at some areas on the Bitcoin chart that show us this consolidation and how we can take advantage of that. Now, one of the downsides is that it's not always going to break to the upside, but you have your stop loss there to try and mitigate your risk. You can see absolutely that this consolidation buy-in to the upside works at this level. So this is a classic area of consolidation right here. So we're coming in off the back of a bull run in Bitcoin anyway. So you of course have to look at the news. You have to look at what's going on in the markets, and if it's a bullish week or if the markets are down for that week, this all plays a part for sure. So you have to go through that process first, but I just want to focus on the actual trading and putting orders in now. So you can see this area of consolidation is actually ripe for putting in a long order if you think that the bull run is going to continue. So you would have actually maybe put in an order, maybe at this level, let's say there, and then obviously your stop loss, you can have all of this great data. You can see that this would be a great area to put a stop loss in because there is a lot of support around this level that has come here. Now, if you're being a little bit more conservative, you can say actually this level as well had some consolidation. So if you wanted to put a wider stop loss in, you could also put that there. So now what we can see is if we put that in, we actually get a 1.88% risk for this. So if the trade really does go against us and it moves down and we get stopped out, we might actually take, let's say, 2% risk. So we have a risk level of 2% on the trade. If you want to be really conservative, maybe you want to set your stop loss a little bit lower, then our risk for the trade is 3.82%. Now, what you can see here is from that consolidation plus the bull run in Bitcoin at that time, obviously we would have gone through, and we're never going to sell at the very top, but we could have maybe sold during this consolidation phase. Then that trade would have netted us 4%. Maybe you would have taken profits a little bit early, 3.7% all the way up to maybe 5%. It depends where your take profit would have been, but you would have got that move already. And you could have actually gone through and set some trailing stop losses as well if you are able to do that on your trading system. So let's look at another example. And remember, what we really are trying to do is trade consolidation patterns. Consolidation where a lot of data is coming in, and then we enter into positions with a tight stop loss, trading a potential breakout. What we're going to do now is go to a much shorter time period for the chart. So if you don't want to trade the 4-hour chart, maybe we'll go to a 1 hour, and we can see completely different support and resistance levels overall. So this can actually show you how trading different timescales can actually net you some different results. Once more, you can see here, and this is a great example of really what I'm saying with trading consolidation patterns where the price actually gets into a narrow range, and also where higher lows are spotted. So that is absolutely what happened here. So what we can see is this very narrow range in Bitcoin. You can see that absolutely there is a floor to the price, which is around this level. So we would use this level and probably a little bit lower to take a stop loss. So let's say we want to take a little bit more risk. So we can actually move this a little bit down and say that is the stop loss price. So we know our risk overall, and then we actually want to go ahead and trade this because we can see the price is consolidating here. We have a lot of trading data. It's actually moving up a little bit. You can see that the price is rising right here. So we can enter into a trade around this level, being confident that our risk reward ratio isn't terrible. We are going to lose this much if the move goes against us. So this is quite a small amount of risk to take if you're putting a stop loss there. And you can see absolutely what happened is a move to the upside. Once more, if we look on the chart, we can go and see that our risk, we could maybe take 2%. Now, if you don't want to take that much, you could even have a tighter stop loss at 1.5%. But to the upside during the breakout, when it broke out of that trading range, you can see the price maybe a 4.5% return. You can see some consolidation here. If you rode that, it would have been very easy to get out a big position at around a 4.5% return. If you wanted to take some profits early, 2%, 3% you could have made. But really it is all about using all of this data that we're seeing here, all of the trading here. You can see a consolidation, a narrowing of the range means that we can be confident that there is a price floor around this level, meaning we can set a much narrower stop loss. What this is doing is allowing us to take a smaller risk because we can set our stop loss closer and then potentially have that reward and a breakout to the upside. I also want to take a look at how trades can go bad and actually go against you. And that happened a few times recently in the chart. So it's April 19th now, a couple of days ago, we had a big correction in Bitcoin with a huge sell-off. So let's see how you would have traded this. Firstly, we can see a consolidation here at this level, which is definitely a trading opportunity. And if you would have traded at this, you could have set your stop loss quite close here and then tried to actually trade this breakout right here. But the breakout wasn't very large. You may have actually traded this profitably if you would have taken some profits early, but you can see it got a bit choppy in the trading and you would have had an opportunity to trade out. If you thought, this trade isn't going very well, you still would have made this amount of money, which as we can see on the chart is around about 2.7%. You would have been quite lucky and you would have had to have timed it pretty well to do that though. But what actually happened going forward, if you would have held your position, is that the price came down to here and your stop loss would have been stopped out. So let's say you didn't take profits here, the price came down, you would have been stopped out of your trade. So you would have made a concrete loss there. We can then see what happens again is that a period of consolidation happens and you're thinking, okay, we've got another consolidation and a pattern to go in on. Maybe I want to set my stop loss around here. Once more, you get a small breakout, but then what happens again is selling pressure comes in at this price. Let's say you did go long at this price, you would have not even got anywhere near making any real profit and it would have sold off again. And so you would have been stopped out once again here. We've now been stopped out twice, let's say, around these trades. As a trader, then you have to take a step back and say, what is the market doing now? I've gone long twice and I've been stopped out twice because the breakout didn't happen. You can then look at the trades and really see what's happening. You can see a wider sell-off here and then a small rally, but you can see this high. And I want to highlight these three right here. You can see this high, and then this high, which is actually lower than the first high. And then this third high, the third rally is lower than the second. This is called lower highs. You have 1, 2, and 3, and they are lower than each other. This is very, very classic, and this is a sell-off. You have lower highs and also lower lows. You can see them here. The lows are getting lower. And so as a trader, you're thinking this actually could be the start of a small downtrend. Lower highs, lower lows are part of a sell-off and a mini downtrend. Higher highs and higher lows are part of an uptrend and a bullish run. No one can predict what happens next, but obviously as a trader, if you're thinking there are lower lows and lower highs, then we could be in for another round of this. And that's exactly what happened. We can see on the chart once more that there is an even lower low and a much lower high. The reason this is happening is because sellers are coming into the market and buyers cannot push it up anymore. And then you get the big one, the breakout. As you can see, the huge breakout, it was about a 20% or so one-day flash crash. A lot of people may think that this was completely unexpected. Yes, the range of the move, the 25%, is definitely not normal, but you can see in the chart leading up to it, you had 1, 2, 3, and probably 4 different and separate patterns of lower highs and lower lows, meaning that sellers were coming in, and definitely professional traders and seasoned traders would definitely know how to recognize that this pattern is that sellers were coming in and potentially pushing it lower. What they cannot predict is the size of the breakout, which no one can predict. In this case, it was a big one. Something else I want to talk about with this typical chart pattern as well is waiting for the breakout. Do you actually trade at these levels? Do you wait for consolidation here? Or do you actually wait for the breakout to happen and then go in and think, I'm actually going to wait for this breakout, wait for the conviction and then go in? Is it better to wait for the price to come around here and actually just wait for that breakout and have some conviction in your trade as opposed to this? Well, it is possible. Some people do it. You may want to just wait for that breakout to happen and try and ride the move itself. So rather than actually trying to predict what was going to happen with these three levels, you'd actually say, you know what, I'm just going to wait for this to happen right here and I'm going to get in and try and ride it. And if you short sold right here, so if you went short and sold some, you would have had a pretty decent run and I'm sure you would have got out maybe at this level or this level, one of these levels, and made a bit of quick cash. The problem with this though is that where do you put your stop loss? It's a very difficult position to be in because you have to look at other areas of consolidation to put your stop loss. Let's say you waited for the big move and you got in around here. Well, if you got in here, then the last area of consolidation is probably all the way up here. And that is a very large area for a stop loss. You're taking a lot of risk there. We can only go on what has happened previously and the previous levels of support and resistance and consolidation in prices between traders. If you would have got in here, yes, you would have had this, but we don't know how far the price is going to go before it actually goes there. In hindsight, you would have made a big move, but this strength of move does not happen that often. And so what you definitely know is that you'll be taking this much risk, which is a very high risk, for a reward that is potentially not as big, because this type of move, a big move to the downside, doesn't happen that often. As you can see from the chart, we're going back, big moves don't happen that much. So what are some of the pros and cons of trading breakouts and these consolidations? Well, sometimes you just get days like this and no one can predict it. A lot of the time, if you were going long and you were thinking, look, Bitcoin is in a bull run and I'm just going to be going long all the time, then you would have been stopped out on 2 or 3 or more of these trades and made loss. Even if it's 1-2%, it's 2% over. So we have these sell-offs and sometimes you just have to take your losses. That is obviously a downside of day trading in general and trying to predict the markets like this rather than taking a slightly longer view. Another downside of actually putting in stop losses on consolidations is that the stop losses tend to be a little bit closer to your position. And what happens a lot of the time in markets is that you get fake moves and breakouts. And when you have a stop loss that is quite close to a move like this, it can actually have a little move up and then a sharp move down before it moves up again. And that means you would have actually triggered your stop loss. You would have made a concrete loss in your position. But actually what happened, the breakout did happen, just not when you expected it to. That means that you placed the trade in the correct way. So if we go back, you would have placed a trade here. It might maybe move up and then move down again. You would have been stopped out of your trade, but eventually it did move up. So that's definitely a con of trying to set stop losses so close to these consolidation patterns, is that sometimes you can get stopped out before actually the trade moves on again. The biggest pro though for this is that we have a higher risk to reward ratio. It is still risky, of course, but we limit our risk. We know our risk beforehand. We can have a 1 to 2% risk rather than waiting for breakouts, having a risk more in the region of 5, 6 or 7%. There's less overall risk in the position, and that means your risk to reward ratios and probabilities are higher. And this over time, over the long term, when you're trading, it's all about actually playing the numbers and playing the probabilities. If you want to trade on Binance and you don't have an account yet, then click the link in the description. You can go through and set up an account. Also, if you want $40 of free Bitcoin, you can download Celsius Wallet with my code in the description. I use Celsius Wallet to earn passive income on my long-term Bitcoin and other crypto holds. You can get $40 of free BTC when you sign up with my code in the description. Subscribe for daily helpful crypto content, and I'll see you in the next one.